The Rams said goodbye to five former players yesterday. Let's dive into it. Welcome back, guys. This is Jake Ellenbogen of the Jake Ellenbogen channel, and I am here to talk about a few guys that were members of the Rams. They're moving on. We have some news, of course. You guys probably already know, but if you don't, I'm just going to give you my thoughts on everything going on with the Rams as far as, the releasing of Johnny Hekker and three key contributors signing with three different teams, as well as Andrew Whitworth's retirement. That'll be a separate video, but that'll be coming out later today. So if you're watching this and it's already out, be sure to check that out after this video. Let's dive right into it. Let's start off with the first guy who I thought honestly got a pretty good bargain, or rather the Carolina Panthers did. They got a great bargain when it came to it. They got Austin Corbett, the former right guard for the Los Angeles Rams. And for those of you who don't know, the Rams did give up some draft capital to acquire him from the Cleveland Browns, the former 33rd overall pick out of Nevada. This is somebody that I thought, quite honestly, they gave up way too quickly, and the Rams made a great, surprising and very rare trade. You don't normally see a young player like that available that early in his career, but make no mistake about it, he carved out a role on this Rams offensive line. He will be missed, and so for that reason, that is definitely something to consider. He is now gone from the Rams, and the Rams will be getting a compensatory pick, but not as high as I anticipated, and definitely not as high as you've probably anticipated. It's going to be around a 5th to 6th round pick, 5th as of right now, according to Over the Cap, but it could go down to a 6th round pick. So that is kind of a little bit of a bummer there, getting about 8.7 average annual salary, 3 years, $26.25 million deal for him, including 13.6 guaranteed. I wish him the best. I'm sure you all do. I think he fits in well with Carolina. They needed him, and I think he's going to do wonders for them. A great signing for them, and I think they got him at the right price, and they took advantage of the fact, look, the Rams just can't bring everyone back. You got to pay Aaron Donald, you got to pay Matthew Stafford, and they're trying to bring back Von Miller, Odell Beckham Jr., as well as others. So unfortunately, he was the guy that slipped through the cracks, and Carolina comes away with a very talented guard that is a Pro Bowl caliber player in his own right. We move on to Joseph Day, Sebastian Joseph Day. Great pick, obviously, from the 2018 draft class. This is somebody that was very impressive right off the get-go. I mean, you talk about getting a late round pick, 6th, 7th round. Normally those guys, you like them to make a little bit of an impact on special teams, make the roster, hang out for a bit, and then they go and they take a contract to play somewhere else, cheaper, whatever. That was not the case with Sebastian Joseph Day. He actually became very good, and he didn't get cut. He continued to work at it, and he continued, despite all of the guys in front of him, he continued to work to the point where he became a starter. And not only that, he really developed under coach Eric Henderson of the defensive line. We saw over and over again, this guy had become one of the best run defenders in all of football, and the Rams definitely missed him down the stretch. However, they didn't miss him as much as you would have expected. And part of that was a good thing, because that meant Greg Gaines was the mantra of stepping in, next man up, and he absolutely bought in. And Greg Gaines, former 4th round pick out of Washington, is a guy that they like a lot. He came into the Rams organization in 2019, and they pretty much expected that, but he took it to another level. And so for that reason, I think Greg Gaines kind of gives the Rams at least some stability here and some confidence, knowing that, yes, it sucks to lose a player like Sebastian Joseph Day's caliber, obviously getting better each year. And on top of that, basically what the organization feels for him, the Rams did want him back, as well as Corbett, but they saw the writing was on the wall. Now, Sebastian Joseph Day is going to stay in LA like I expected, but he is going to be staying in LA and play for the Chargers. Again, like I expected. Makes sense. It's an easy transition. You go over to just the different locker room there. You stay at SoFi Stadium. You stay in LA. You don't even have to move. And you just end up getting paid, and you switch coaches to a guy that was his defensive coordinator the year the Rams were the $1 defense in the league. It wasn't that long ago, I might add. So definitely makes sense there for Sebastian Joseph Day. He will be missed. 3 years, $24 million, $8 million a year, $15 million guaranteed. Once again, this is going to get a sixth round compensatory pick unless, some things happen where teams that end up canceling out their picks ahead of the Rams. But as of right now, the Rams are looking at 2 potential 5th, 6th round compensatory picks through that. We move on to the next guy who does not have a contract out there yet. We know he's signed a 1-year deal or agreed to a 1-year deal with the Houston Texans, and that is Okoronkwo. And for those of you who are wondering why he went to the Houston Texans, and we don't know the price tag on him, we do not know. Number was not disclosed yet. I'd imagine it'll probably be disclosed way after I recorded this video and maybe before I even drop it. But here's the thing. It was not disclosed. And when you're going to a team like the Houston Texans and you're not sticking around when the Rams really did want to bring him back in some capacity, that tells me that this is probably going to be a 1-year, $8 million to $12 million deal. This is a prove it deal, but this is also a deal for Obo, in my opinion, coming off his best season of his career to take advantage. He's going to go to Houston. He's going to get an opportunity to play, put a ton of tape out there of him truly starting and having a serious role like we saw other guys do, take a little bit less money or make a little bit more money, play for the Texans, play for, that team that's probably not going to win a lot of games, but you get your film out there, and I think that's important. A young pass rusher out of Oklahoma, 5th round pick in 2018. Loved the pick of Okoronkwo at the time. He ended up really being a lot better than I expected because it looked like early in his career, injuries were going to derail him. And make no mistake about it, he may not fit the archetype you normally see out of a Rams pass rusher like a Terrell Lewis, but they were very much interested in bringing him back. And it's going to suck. You obviously had a contribution. He had a role, but it does open up opportunities for other guys. Definitely Justin Hollins. That goes without saying. We'll see what happens on the Von Miller front, but it also opens up an opportunity for 7th round D2 pick, and that is Chris Garrett, who a lot of people have been clamoring for, as well as potentially Ernest Brown, who does have to be extended. He does have to re-sign with the Rams, but he is a 5th round pick in his own right at Northwestern. I'm very curious to see how they utilize him. And then lastly here, Johnny Hekker. He was released by the Rams, end of an era. This is somebody that I definitely hold near and dear to me as a a football fan and as a fan of the Rams. He is maybe the greatest punter we've ever seen. I mean, there's a chance that he is the greatest punter of all time. He's got the numbers there. He's got the consistency. But he did start to go downhill a little bit. I thought he had a better season than many give him credit for. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact that they traded Corey Bojorquez. And so I think a lot of people really just kind of were done with him at that point. But he came back, he won a Super Bowl, he was released. He's going to save the Rams about $2.05 million in cap, so not a ton. So clearly this, I think, is a mutual, decision here. Johnny Hekker also isn't punting a lot, being in LA, and he did have to take a significant pay cut to come back. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a ton of interest. Definitely teams all over the league that could be interested in him, and won't be surprised if he gets back to his old form. He's had a rough patch, I think, the last 2 years, but part of it I think is because of injury. Part of it, honestly, is because I don't think he punts anywhere near as much as he used to. But that is definitely going to sting. The Rams could look in the draft. I know a lot of people are already pointing out the kid from San Diego State. I don't scout punters, so I don't know much about him, to be honest with you, Ariza. But there's definitely options out there. Not too worried about the punter spot. Way more worried about the kicker. And the Rams went ahead and they tendered Matt Gay. Would get about a 5th round pick if somebody decided to match, and the Rams didn't actually match that deal. So that's something to consider there. But right now, not a lot going on. Whitworth retires. We'll talk about that in another video. But that is pretty much it as far as the Rams news. Just had to catch you up if you haven't, basically, if you've been under a rock. I think the Rams kind of cut down the news a little bit. They didn't want to go out and sign anybody. They didn't want to agree to anything. From what I'm told, they really wanted to keep, yesterday, the Whitworth day, so to speak, him retiring. No need to make giant, decisions and steal the headlines. That was Whitworth's day. He did retire. And so now the Rams can move on knowing that they have a hell of a player that was able to play for them. Bought into Sean McVay at age 30. You got to love that he was able to retire on top the way he was. But Obviously, more is on the way, but that is going to do it for me. Keep it right here for all your Rams news and updates. I'll be also covering the rest of the NFL in some degree when things start to settle down, but that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and go check out some other videos on the channel. Take care, guys. Later.